Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 29, Race 5. Race 5 already, it's unbelievable! And this round, we're at the Bahrain International Circuit, a track that everybody should know well. It's always near the start of the calendar, so anyone that does anything like a career mode, if they get bored after one race, they normally have done this one anyway. And it's where drivers do a lot of testing. So we're well known, and no, the sheep not falling out the sky. It's not raining sheep, and what you doing, Theo? Oh my Christ. We've just caught that absolute maniac lose control. And God, we'll have to clip that up for him. What a dickhead. Yes, it's not raining sheep. Bahrain. It's not Bahraining, it's Bahrain. And speaking of sheep, someone's followed us from Division 2 into Division 1. Katamise is filling in for his mate Kat's in the Haas. And he'll have the honour of doing the first flying lap in Div 1 as he opens up his DRS, going down the start-finish straight, down to the heavy braking of Turn 1, sharp right-hand hairpin where it's going to be very tight at the start of the race. Over Turn 2, very easy to invalidate on the apex and exit of the corner. DRS is open on the run down to Turn 4. A second very good overtaking opportunity. Wide angle round Turn 5. Avoid that left curb. We're going to see one or two people trying to audition as an astronaut for NASA. With its glitch as we approach now Turn 8. Very sharp braking zone again. Tight right-hander, climb uphill. And the kink of Turn 9 and one of the hardest corners on the circuit, Turn 10, where it's slightly off camber. Easy to lock up and go deep if you navigate it well like this. Open up the DRS again up to Turn 11. We're going to get a good rotation round. A little bit of a tricky braking zone, but he's taking it okay. Round Turn 12 where the car comes alive. Flat out, and then you want to go as much speed through Turn 13. Otherwise you're going to be sitting duck down the start-finish straight. Climb over the crest as we approach Turn 14, the final proper corner, where you again want to carry as much speed through. You rode the apex a bit too much in my liking. Open up the throttle, open up DRS, and end the lap with a 1:28.1. Good banker up there for Katamise. Has got a better time than Adamako, so it's showing decent time here for the Div 2 driver. Yes, Theo, I did catch that. As the drivers setting their first lap. Michael with the P3. Brutus goes above his teammate at the 28 flat. We're definitely going to see the mid-27s. As have to invite back in as Amadigo's provisional forward 27.4, so maybe even low 27s is going to be the time. Big Raki goes for provisional P2 at 27.8. He's won the last two elite races. As luckiest up to P7 in the Alpine with 28.3. Clem back with us this week. P10 with 28.8. As we see the McLarens. One of the McLarens just starting his lap. Portuguese starting his lap as well. As Capslock going around the final corner for his first flying lap. Good to see him near the top. Oh, he's just starting his lap. My apologies, Michael. He's over 28.3. That'll be on another out lap. Jack starting his flying lap. Let's just invite MSA back in if he's totally disconnected. Is he in? Oh, what is this? Two people disconnecting here. It's not on. Ruins my flow. No one wants to see me scrolling menus. Let's send him another one. And I don't know what's happening with Elite Dave. Not so elite today. It's head P8. Not far behind his teammate, only a tenth behind his teammate, so A good lap there by the RB driver. So we've got McLaren crossing the line. Is it Callum for his first flying lap? And he goes provisional pole, the 27.2, so a good 2/10 on top of Ahmadi. He got pole last week. What can Portuguese do? He's invalidated. He's not going to improve. Oh my God. So next we've got Theo. He's going to throw his formation, his warm-up lap in the bin. And he sets himself a time on the front row, 27.4. Just 5 thousandths ahead of Ahmadi. It's tighter than a camel's arsehole in a sandstorm. This Portuguese has to go in again. Samad's had a power cut. If you go back online, Samad, I can re-invite you. Are you back on? He's not back on. I'll just double check if he's... Technical difficulties for Samad. Be good to see him back on track because he was reserving for Chief of Fire. Ahmadi on another hot lap as he finishes it. Goes up to front row. Oh, look at that. Just behind Callum by 22 thousandths. Jack Daniels currently P15. He's not where he wants to be, so he's messed up somewhere. Samad's just trying to get back online. Hi, Jax. No song. I'm trying to get it working. I'm trying to work out how to do some clipping and adding the video on. It's just not that straightforward. I'll tell you what's not straightforward. That line round the final couple of corners. What a dickhead. So we'll just keep an eye on Katami's then as he's going for a second flying lap. Also, some great performances last week, with Ahmadi taking the race win. For the in the Zandvoort reverse, very tricky. We found many incidents, and it's not one that one or two drivers will want to be doing again. But we've done it. It's been christened. He's just coming up and approaching turn 9. You see the RB behind, the Visa RB just behind, even going at a slow pace, a tricky exit on turn 10. And Big Raki getting the win, as I mentioned earlier, for the elite drivers. 2/10 up here for Katamis. We're getting into the 127s. Should get him above his teammate. Can he find some extra time in this final sector? A little bit of slipstream from his teammate. I think he'll be giving his teammate a slip down the start-finish straight. Look at this for team play. If anyone's watched machines before, I absolutely love team play. Katamis does get himself up to P4 above Big Raki then, onto the second row. And his teammate is getting that lovely slipstream just behind. So that next gets himself a P15 on his first lap. Got the Aston Martins just starting their laps now. Dan Morris out on his first flying lap. So who we got next coming round? It's not next. Who's coming next? I'm saying Picnic on his out lap. So it's Michael next across the line, just over 2/10 up. Could get him above Adamako if he finds a little bit more time. Could get himself up to P6. And it does, P7. Just behind. There's no validation here from Luckiest. He's not going to improve. Portuguese on his first hot lap. He's managed to keep this one within the white lines. He's going to be a contender to be fighting for that pole position. Will he get himself there? He is on provisional pole, 27.163. Good 10th ahead of Callum. Now everyone's going to be watching that with intent. As Ted Head goes up to P10, just behind his teammate by 700ths. What can Caps Lock do? Gets himself up ahead of Luckiest, P11, 28.2. Not Theo yet, it's the Aston boys. Dan Morris with his first lap gets himself just behind his teammate for today. Benji filling in for Davy Kim. Racking his brains. Just on his lap as Picnic goes above Dan Morris, splits the Astons. Ahmadi's invalidated on his outlap. That doesn't matter. Next up is Callum. He's found 2/10. Has he kept that distance? Gets himself back on provisional pole. He does not. 5 thousandths behind Portuguese. Oh my gosh, but gets jumped by Theo. 27 flat. These times are dropping. Will we see it 126? That's incredible. That's incredible. Neil, the baby. Theo pulled that one out of the bag. And after his warm-up lap, Clem goes up to P14. What can Jax do? Wow, that's the lap he's needed fine. Behind Big Racky, though. Fighting for the championship. P7, but he's needed that lap. Next is next. Can he improve on his P18? He can't because he's in the pits. He's in the sink, but his next is Ahmadi. No, it's not Ahmadi. I think, let me see. Am I too concentrated? Let's see. Right. Let's see if I can get anyone back on. MSA isn't on. Right. I can get you in, Elite Dave, if you're online, mate. I can't even... There we go. Right, it's not me. It's Ahmadi gets himself on provisional. He goes into the 126s. Just under a 10th ahead of Theo. Storming lap. Hopefully we can get Elite Dave into the race. Theo is flying, Terry's, but so is... It's so tight between this top four. Big Racky's got himself up to P5. He's flying as well. Got himself ahead of Katamis, which is where everybody would want to be. And now as everyone just gets himself into... Picnic says he's so bad at this game. He's just rusty. He hasn't been racing for a while. He's just rusty. Ahmadi currently on provisional pole. Now Dave, he just needs to go out and... So 3 minutes left to go. We're going to see everyone come out now for their final runs as Katamis, the first one to do his final flying lap. Oh, God, this is exciting. This is exciting. And he improved the first of the pace setters. Oh, I'm going to wheel a little, I think. I'm going to be... I think I'm going to be sweating this race. Fastest middle sector. And he's found an extra 10th. Katamis potentially get himself ahead of Big Racky. Now this will put him in good stead. And this is more of like a trial run for him for the Div 2 race. Crosses the line. He's lost some time in that final sector, so not going to improve. His teammate's the next one to come and start the final flying laps. Elite Dave has joined us, so we do have potentially 20 on the grid. While he's going to start, I'll just double check if MSA is back online. He's had a power cut. He's not with us, so I think unfortunately he's going to miss out. But we'll jump on with Brutus. I'm going to be sweating like a fat kid wanking. It's going to take this to the wire. I've got no idea who's going to be taking pole at all. Luckiest in the Alpine behind Brutus. Nice little slipstream off the Haas, boys. Oh, it's got me all excited as he comes round turn 4. Oh, a little bit snap of oversteer. He's still slightly down, so that slipstream didn't help him at all. Can he find some extra time in this tricky middle sector? As he approaches turn 10. Good rotation of the car, good clean exit. Open up that DRS. Flings it round turn 12. Drivers will love that one. Fastest middle sector. Luckiest currently 13 was winning races last season. Found it very difficult for this one as he goes around the final corner. Brutus to set his final flying lap. Everyone is on. And Brutus P8 is not going to improve any higher than that. As Luckiest will cross the line. Gets himself up to P7. The highest he will start. Next is next. And P17 for him. Ted has P8. He's not going to improve on that time. Michael! Where's Michael going to finish? Michael's P5. 27.6. Wow, wee, wah. And at the moment, he's on pole position for the Elite Boys. Adam Macker's retired from the session. I think he's bailed on his lap. Not a good qualified session for Adam. In the pits for Theo, so he's not going to improve. Callum. Provisional pole for Callum's 1:26.9. Jax is in the pits, so he's not had a good qualifying session right at the end. We've got Benji first. He goes up to P10, followed by Dan Morris, P14, 28.1. Big Racky jumps ahead of Michael. Big Racky on pole for the Elite Boys. Ahmed D crosses the line. P2 for him, 26.989. 500ths behind Callum. And P17. Brutus has done his lap. Don't think he's doing another one. He's not. So that's your order. And Callum gets himself on pole again. Theo says he was 2/10 off. What could have been. But it's a tie, and even Big Racky coming in play. Only 3/10 behind Portuguese, so what a lap from the Williams boy. And he's in some fine form at the moment. Armady says he reckons everyone's fumbled. Everyone pushing each other to the limits, right to the wire. It's so competitive, all up and down the grid. Terry's is burning Callum's arsehole with a fire emoji. As we wait for this game to load. As we say, oh, this game screwed the qualifying results. Sorry, boys, no qualifying results. The game's just spunked us through. I'll try and get it off the order. Right, just have a second while everyone sorts out their setups and their fuel loads. It is said that you could potentially do a one-stopper. Probably for me, if you want to get a good launch, medium to hards, but I'm always one for the alternate strategy. So if it was me, I would start on hards, but I'm also not that quick. It's a medium downforce circuit, and you're on the throttle at 72% of the time, so tyre preservation is crucial. And those that are watching, who do you reckon is going to be on the podium? Theo, I didn't have a really good race last week, and I'm going to put Theo up there. He was missed out on a couple of tenths, so he's got some pace. I reckon I'm going to go for, I'm going to get I'm going to go Theo, go P1. I'm going to root for Theo, get that P1. I think get his first win of the season. I think I'm going to go for Callum P2. He's on a podium streak. And I'm going to go Portuguese. Oh, we've lost Caps Lock. Oh no, Caps Lock has left. Callum, Theo and Portuguese from Dan Morris. So I'll try and get Caps Lock back in. There's no MSA. No, I'm not a quick boy, and I'd rather Terry's reckons Callum D and Catamise. Oh, Catamise. He'll get bumped up if he ends up hitting the podium in a Div 1 race, or he'll get promoted if he carries on. Caps Lock's back in, thankfully. Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah, I think it's one of those ones where you can gain massive tenths in a couple of corners, and they're definitely the lads that have been doing one or two practice laps. We know that Big Racky does a lot. Well, yeah, I reckon if he can stick in the DRS, Racky is definitely in with a shout. If they are battling ahead, there's no reason why he can't. Hopefully everyone's going to navigate turn one in a safe and steady manner. I know that's asking a lot. If anything, last week showed. Yeah, the tricky. Yeah, it was just there were some bad elements. I'm trying to be nice, but there was just some bad skills on show. As we are underway now, everyone should be ready. Everyone should have had a toilet break. Apart from me, I'll be doing it in between races. We of course have a Div race, and we will be followed by our Div 2 boys at 9 PM UK. Let's have a look at the strategy. So Samad starting on the softs. I think it's the AI starting, but only Callum starting on the hards. Now that makes it spicy. I think he's just got. I wonder if he's had a big, massive gulp, because off the line, he's going to be a sitting duck. He needs to warm up his tyres as much as he can. This Bahrain GP, he's been with us since 2004. The first GP in the Middle East, and the reason why we've got many more. It's of course the 2004 race was a fantastic battle between the Jaguar of Mark Webber and Alonso's Renault. They had a massive tussle. All fair of course. Theo's gone past Theo. Callum's gone round past turn 10. Around the 5.4 kilometre clockwise. Circuit, 15 corners, 9 to the right and 6 to the left, with the three DRS zones, which we just passed the second one of the lap. There's a 63% chance of a safety car and 50% chance of a VSC. And if it's anything like last week, we might see 1 or 2, especially with that accommodation down to turn 1 after the launch off the line. As I said, it's potentially a 1-stopper, depending if you're looking after your tyres. It's a 22.9 second pit stop, so you'd only do more than you need to. The game says it's 2, so I might be wrong, but I did hear in chat that it could be a 1-stopper. So that makes it quite interesting. I don't know what penalties for. There we go. Callum's in his grid slot. It's a 353 metre run down from pole to turn 1 break-in point. So his opportunity for the cars behind to make an overtake before turn 1. You see Michael's car just turned in on the inside, looking to make some moves as the final cars get into their grid slots, trying to warm their tyres up as much as possible. Callum and D, Theo and Portuguese, been sitting in their grid spots for a couple. It depends how his race goes. I think if he's going to be caught in too many battles, maybe. As it's 3, 4, 5. It's lights out, away we go. And it's a good launch from Amadi. Should get himself up to P1, which he does. Portuguese is already getting place. Theo's lost a couple of places, got caught on the line. And let's hope everyone makes it smooth. It's a little tag on Theo on the inside of turn 1. But apart from that, it looks like everyone's made it through okay. Caps Lock's lost a couple of places. I think he's still not connected. Oh, he's had something on the line. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know what's going on with Caps Lock there. Portuguese got himself out of Callum as well, so this is not what Callum necessarily needed. There's a little glitch somewhere, as it's my eyes. It's Dan Morris ahead of Nex, or side by side with Nex through turn 8. Aston Martin's got the inside, but Dan Morris has got the inside of turn 10, which is where you want to be. The Aston Martin just slightly ahead, left plenty of space. Lock up there from the Haas, and Nex just couldn't brake and ends up colliding with the Haas. Brutus ahead. Well, what's going on with Caps Lock? He's got an issue with his wheel, I reckon. Just struggling a bit here. Just can't keep it on the track. Either that or there's a 3-year-old driving. Portuguese up to P2. That's the launch he needed. Big Rakia still ahead of Theo. But he's been dropped from that DRS as the DRS is now activated after the first lap. Adam making moves up to P6 ahead of Michael. Theo on the inside of turn 1 on Big Raki, left him plenty of space. Wide berth like a hippo being born. Theo gets himself up to P4, and that's what he needed. Callum's already been dropped by the front 2, and that's with the hard tyres. Elite Dave up to P16, good start from him from the back of the grid. Next having a little issue as well after that collision. Hopefully no one ends up. He's in his car, so he's not disconnected. I won't be surprised if he decided to pit. That's luckiest making a move at turn 8 on Benji. So brilliant overtake from the Alpine driver. Caps Lock's in the pits. I wouldn't be surprised if he does retire. I don't know what's going on with him. We'll find out afterwards. Good to see 12 drivers on the grid. I believe we've got 12? 12? I don't know my numbers. 20 drivers on the grid, and I believe we've got 20 for the Div 2 race as well. Sama's car going slow. He's not in his car. So Amadi's still in the lead of the race. Got Portuguese for company. Can Portuguese make the overtake onto turn 1? Amadi goes on the defence on the inside, but Portuguese does take the lead of the race. Brilliant start from the Ferrari driver. As Ted Head does the same move on Michael and is slotted behind his teammate in the train behind Callum. The Theo's caught up to Callum, bringing the rest of the pack with him all the way down to Nex. Oh my, go in your bed. Don't lick the back of my knee. I'll get all randy. Yellow flag there for Capstock's car again. I think there's some issue with his wheel, but I do presume. I wouldn't be surprised if Callum closes in unless he's going to try and... He doesn't want to get dropped from this front two. Piss off. Dog, piss off, man. You can't go there because that's where my laptop is. Can't you see? Can't you see what's right in front of you? Can't you see? Don't look at me like that. You retard. Go in your bed. Michael just made a mistake somewhere and has just slightly become adrift of the train for P3. And we'll need to try and close that gap before the DRS train down the 1.1 kilometre start finish straight. He's not quite there, so he's going to be on the defence. As Amadi makes an attack on the inside. Portuguese doesn't fight it too hard. There's nothing you can really do. What can Theo do here with Callum? Nothing as yet. Katami's using his straight line speeds, getting himself up to P8. And jumps ahead of Michael as we see Elite Dave ahead of Jax Daniels, who loses a couple of positions. Picnic on the inside of Jax. Picnic getting himself settled in the race. Jax got the inside of turn 2, but Picnic gets himself ahead. Brilliant driving from the Williams, as Brutus ahead of Michael as well. Oh, little drift out turn 5. She'll open the door for Michael, side by side through turn 6 and 7. Brilliant racing from these pairers, but Brutus will have the inside of turn 8. As Dan Morris, an opportunist unluckiest. Brilliant move from Dan Morris, but luckiest had better traction coming out of the corner. Retakes the position as he'll push each other around turn 10. It's a very tricky camber, off-camber corner. The Alpine just slotting behind Michael, as you were for now. Like Dave looking in his mirror to Jack Stanley. Jack Stanley was just not in a, as we say, in big Raki in the fine form the last couple of races. Jax has just not been there. He's lost quite a few points, and he had a big storming lead at the start of the season. It's just struggling at the moment. Theo's closed the gap on Callum. I think he's going to make the overtake now. You see him closing in. DRS is open, and will get himself up to P3 as Portuguese retakes P1. These two need to work together, try and extend the lead. There's 3 seconds gap to the following pack. And Theo's got some extreme pace about him as the Haas boys exchange places. Luckiest and ahead of Michael. As Michael's actually got past Dan Morris as well. Dan Morris will look to retake. Back up to P11, the inside of turn 4. Brilliant overtake from the Aston Martin boy. Currently running third in the Elite Championship, but Dan Morris, so if he can keep this consistency through the race, he'll get himself on the podium for the Elite. Michael will be trying to challenge him for it. Luckiest ahead of Katami's on. Katami's trying to do a switch back on turn 10, but no, he's better of it. Lucky's up to P9 now. I'll tell you who's doing well here. Big Raki and Ted Head getting pulled along by Theo. Still for that battle for P3. It's not a track that you can easily get track limits, as we've just seen Capstock, but Capstock is pushing, hoping for a safety car. But if they do get penalties ahead, and they can get a podium. A little wiggle there from Theo as he waves Callum past. Hello. As Adam taking a quick look on Raki, we see Brutus getting past his teammate again. So this is working well for Callum at the moment. It doesn't want to get caught adrift too much from the front two, but it all depends on the guy's strategy if it is a 1 or a 2 stop. As I said, I reckon a 1 stop's possible, which I think Callum will be nursing his tyres. Ted, that's not what he wanted. I jinxed him. Michael exchanging place with Dan Morris. This is going to be a battle for a podium, I think. Dan Morris just losing traction at turn 8, pushing the limits. Benji right on his teammate for today. Benji filling in from Div 2. And it suited him well last week. Had a great performance in the Div 1 race. I need to transfer that to the Div 2. So now got a 2-car battle here for P3. I think the tyres are slightly wearing on Big Racky. And he'll be under threat from the platinum driver of Adam. Down this start finish, Portuguese will easily make a move, as you can see it at the forefront of your picture. Getting himself into the lead of the race, and Adam does make a move on Big Racky up to P5. And Adam, first race win of the season in Canada. We're looking to try and eliminate again as Dan and Michael exchanging places. Down to turn 1, Michael trying to defend on the inside, but easy enough for Dan. And what Dan will need is Benji to try and get past as well and be kind of a buffer for him and Michael. Michael looking to make on the inside of turn 4, left plenty of room by Dan, but brilliant defence. Benji having a look on the outside of turn 5, hopefully he doesn't hit the big glitch. Side by side, Benji gets his other head, forces his way through on turn 7. Caught Michael off guard as Picnic does the same move on Glenn. And gets himself up to P14. Glenn just nearly outbrakes himself, has to go a little wide, but keeps it on track. Jax Daniels is struggling here. I need to speak to Jax afterwards. I don't know what's up with him. Maybe he's just sleepy. Maybe just giving others an opportunity. Or he doesn't want to get promoted to Platinum, so he wants to stay in the Elite Division. Who knows? But he's got Next for company. Had a difficult start, but he's found his pace now. As we see, Amadi exchange places with Portuguese. Theo has caught a drift of Callum now. And I think, when will we see 1 or 2 pit? We're going to see Dan and Michael pit. Same strategy. Oh, Italian had gesture for Jax. As we're seeing Lowe's drivers pit, so I think it's going to be 2 stop for some. Or many, but that's not what Jax needed at all. And he's costing himself points. Dan, Elite Dave on hards. Michael Clenn and Jax all going on to mediums then, so different strategies. Dan will come out ahead. And as you can see, Capstock is caught up. 2 stopper, says Benedict. I don't know, I swear Red Callum said he was going to, it's a 1 stopper as possible, but with the tyre update, I don't know. Because Callum's now closing in on the front 2. As Dan and Michael exchange positions. Dan on the harder tyres, so it's going to take longer for them to come up to temperature. Michael will try and capitalise this as much as possible. Dan taking a quick look. Yellow flag there for Capslock, and it's a safety car. Capslock's crash coming out of turn 4 and is retired from the session. He's hit the wall coming out of turn 4. And those that haven't pit yet. Oh, maybe. Well, okay. So D is in. Portuguese following in. What will Callum do? Callum's in too. So this kind of neutralises the race. Those that have just pit, that won't benefit them at all. Ted Head here will be caught up. What's the word I'm thinking of? Double stack. She's going to lose plenty of places. It's not what he needs. The Haas boys as well. Katamis will be double stacked behind Brutus. Luckiest going on some soft tyres. Interesting call from Luckiest. Looking to pounce on the start of the safety car. Restart. Interesting there from the Alpine. Most moving on to the into the hards. Those who've gone on to mediums are definitely doing a 2-stopper then. That's of Michael and you can't race, lads. You can't race, lads. It's safety car conditions. Jax will probably see him go in again and get rid of that 10-second penalty. But that's put the likes of... promotes the likes of Picnic and Nex. And Benji. Ted had stayed P7. Just lost out to Big Racky. But it'll be interesting to see what Luckiest can do. It's unfortunate for Caps Lock. And also, I've got the football scores. I forgot about them. Chelsea are 1-0. Potentially, yeah. I think... yeah, the hard guys have still got to... He's done his hard stint, so he's going to be two mediums. The guys have got to do a hard and a medium, so... I suppose he's going to try... He's going to have to get past these guys and not get held up behind D and... Oh yeah, he's gonna have a face like a smashed trifle. He's gonna be effing and jeffing, I think, under his breath. It happens. It's racing. I don't think he'll be worried about it too much, but yeah, I think he won't. It wouldn't have helped his strategy. It'd be interesting to see the likes of. How the likes of Michael and Dan work their way up the order as Jax does go in the pit. You reckon they can do 20 laps though? 20 laps on the hards? I don't think so. They'll try and go as long as they can, but you'd end up damaging your own strategy if you go too long. You end up losing too much time on the guys behind that do pit. We know definitely that Callum, well, he won't be able to do 20 laps. But if he does, and if the hards do go 20 laps, that could be good for the likes of Theo and Adam. A little sip of neck lube. As we're waiting for Elite Dave and Jax to catch up. Amadili will lead around the first safety car of this race. And it could be in this lap, I reckon. Or is the game going to give us the middle finger and go round again? It should let us know any minute now. No, he's taking us round again. But Mylander trying to get some airtime. You're not a celebrity. Go back to your sim. And we know that Luckiest definitely has to pit, and he'll go softer hards for his final run. There's no... Well, softs will probably only do about 5-6 laps. 13 laps on the mediums. He'll be going hard. So, look, he's doing softer hards. But he'll need to try and work his way up and take advantage of this strategy. Brave. I like it. It's something different. Ooh. But, he'll be oh, I see. Portuguese and Callum just almost colliding. Everyone is in the order. Everyone's got to nurse their tyres. So we see Luckiest go deep. Don't get any stupid track limits under a safety car. It's not what you want. Now what the safety car neutralises the order, and just like the 400-year-old tree of life that's known in Bahrain, it will spark life back into this race. From a rolling start, it will be in this lap. And Ahmadi will hold the pack up as much as possible. It's a long run down the straight, and you don't want to be sitting duck for long. Will he? I think last week he went early, and I wonder if he'll go early, but you have to wait for the safety car to go in the pits, and you can't overtake until time in line. So he's going at a reasonable pace at the moment. I've seen a lot of slower pace, so I think he's going to go, and he's gone. No, I thought he was gone. I thought he'd gone. He almost caught me. He's still holding the pack up, and he has gone now. Has Theo caught Callum napping? Oh, Callum just tries to make a move on Portuguese and didn't see Theo there. Theo caught his wheel well, takes a quick look, but has to slot behind. Callum side by side with Portuguese. We see a Williams run deep of Big Raki. He's lost a couple of places, and Callum has got himself up to P2 ahead. Lucky's caught adrift as Adamako ahead of Theo. Brilliant move from the Visa RB. Theo just not got himself switched on as yet as Elite Dave ahead of MSA. Sounds like a drug. Luckiest on the inside of Ted Head. Brilliant move from the Alpine. Brilliant drive from Ted Head as well. Saw him there. Left him plenty of room. And Luckiest managed to turn his car in. Gained position up to P6. Big Raki now ahead down to P11 after going deep. Missed his braking point. And that's not what he needed. And that does promote Ted Head to the lead of the Elite Championship then. Everyone's still in DRS, which won't be active until the end of this lap. Will anyone try and make a move down to turn 1? It's going to be difficult. The slipstream on this game is not as effective as it has been before, or how it should be. Will anyone spunk their ERS? Or will they say the battery's Portuguese just slightly adrift of the front two? Ahmadi's still leading the way. Will Theo take a quick look? Not yet. That's such a picnic and his teammate slots him behind. Everyone meeting the breaking point this time, thankfully. DRS will be active. As Callum now taking the lead of the race, he's side by side with Ahmadi. Left plenty of space. Has taken the lead of the race for the first time. And this is exactly what he needed to do. Has brought Portuguese in players. Dan Morrison next. Side by side through the S-bends. And it's brilliant driving from Dan. There's been caught adrift from Michael, who's gained a couple of places after the restart. And Dan does not want to be stuck, as Nex has actually stayed ahead. So brilliant driving from both elite runners. They're fighting for position here, not just in the Div 1 standings, but in the elite. Quick look there from Glenn. I always say Glenn, I always think of like something that hangs from your arsehole. Liverpool 1-0 down. Chelsea 2-0. Against Ajax. This is where this front three then need to try and make a move. Callum setting the provisional fastest lap with a 35. Will Theo try and make a move on Adamako down to turn 1? Adam holding his line and just managed to maintain it for now. Theo taking a quick look. A little bit of wheel bang with Adam, but Adam keeps the position with better traction out of turn 1. He'll have DRS again, Theo. Trying to force his way through. Doesn't want to be stuck behind Adam if he can't help it. But has to follow him round turn 4. Good defence from Adam. Keeps P4 for now. Portuguese has joined this battle for the lead of the race. Jackson, the Elite Dave exchange positions. Jackson, a different strategy, but getting a better line out of turn 4. So good start. And Raki as well. Track limits is, I think, luckiest. His tyres are wearing already. 5 laps in. Has got taken by Ted Head. And on the inside, Brutus on turn 11. You don't see many overtakes there. Lucky's well, he has the inside of turn 12. Brave move from Brutus. but left each other plenty of space, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see luckiest pit either this or the next lap. His tyres will be wearing, especially after some qualifying runs. As we do see Theo making an early move down the straight, get himself up to P4. Adam just jumps back in his slipstream. Well, takes a quick look on the inside, but not close enough yet. Big Raki on the inside of Katamis. Oh, just locks up, but managed to make it stick. Katamis saw the lock up and held his line. Brilliant awareness from the Haas driver. And good move from Big Raki, getting himself up to P10. We'll try and reduce some of the damage caused by his running deep after the safety car restart. Benji getting himself onto the track limits board. As Nexus trying to catch up to the pack for P9. Closing the gap, bringing Dan, Glenn, Jackson Elite with him. Dan, you're looking to try. He has some great pace in that first stint. Probably not finding these hard tyres as comfortable as the mediums, but knows that he can go back onto them afterwards. We're over halfway now, lap 15 of 29. And the front three have broken a 3.3 second gap ahead of Theo in fourth. Lucky is staying with this battle for P4. He'll be vying for that first podium of the season. He's definitely got the pace in it. He's got himself a good enough gap with him and Adam. As we see Benji trying to break the slipstream. And there's a big snake behind him. And keeps P9 for now. No one close enough to make a move. Will anyone try and make a run? Will Raki down to turn 4. Takes the inside line. Not quite close enough yet. So Dan Morris take a quick look on Nex as well. Everyone avoiding the curve before turn 5. Michael gets himself a track limits. That won't help his challenge for an elite podium. As Callum still leads the way around in prime position. He's not going to have it all his own way. And it's all going to be down to some tyre and ERS management that's going to depict who's going to win this race. It's no means done. Portuguese has just gone slightly wide, cost him a tenth or two. And he's just on the outskirts of DRS. There's Theo pushing hard, trying to close that gap with the runners ahead. Adam leading the pack behind us. D takes the lead of the race back from Callum. And the to-in and throw-in begins again. As we'll jump back on Katami side by side here with Raki. Run down to turn 1 and gets himself up to P10. Picnic overtaking his teammate as well. As Raki stays inside on turn 2. Good defence from the Williams driver getting ahead of his teammate. As we see Dan Morris finally getting ahead of Nex. And next for Dan Morris is Michael. Michael with that 3 seconds. That will help Dan Morris's challenge for a podium in the Elite Championship. Big Raki sticking with Katamis on the outside of turn 8. He'll have the inside line through turns 9 and 10. It will be wheel banging. Katamis pulls out. Again, good awareness from the Haas driver. Tries to switch back on Big Raki. Big Raki does have the pace and stays just ahead. So move from Big Raki again up to P10. And they're having a good little battle here. Previous on-track rivals, let's call it. Oh, we're showing some good racing. Portuguese just slightly adrift from the front 2 now. Just caught in a little bit dirty air. Doesn't have DRS, so hoping that these two do a little battle as The inside, Callum has to slot behind Amadi again. Battle here for P. Brutus ahead of Lucky's. Lucky's tyres have got to be crying. 9 laps on softs. Ones that you used in qualifying as well. Are you mad? I thought he would pit as he retakes P7, so user of DRS. Managed to retake the position ahead of Brutus, who had a fantastic race in his home race last week. Brilliant strategy and manoeuvred himself all around the safety cars and got himself on the podium. Unfortunately, got himself a penalty following the race and got detached from it. Liverpool have equalised 1-1. Got himself taken off the podium, but it was a fantastic race nonetheless, and got himself joint driver of the day with Benji. Adam just struggling to stick with Theo. Theo just not got the pace of the front three in the race. Showed brilliant qualifying pace, but just struggling. As Callum now pitting, which promotes Portuguese. And I think he'll, hopefully with him, he doesn't get caught in traffic. That's going to be his downfall. He'll be hoping that the guys don't try a one-stopper. Where's he going to come out, though? He's going to come out near the end. Quite a few jumping over in the pits as well, which will help him to get off the mediums. He's going to come out behind his teammate, which I don't think is going to hold him up. But he's still going to navigate. So it's going to be quite interesting. Another 10 laps to go. Will we see everyone else pit? And it'll be interesting to see Callum's pace. He's 23.8 seconds behind Amadi. And we'll keep an eye. What the fuck? There we go. Telling me. Be interesting to see how he can close that gap. But he's going to be caught in traffic. Maybe, like Terry said, this could have screwed his race. Big Racky and Lucky's both pit as well. Ted Head has on his lap as well. If anyone could do it, it's Callum, yeah, but trying to get past traffic is not what you bargain for. Bit of fresh air for Katamise. And pulling Picnic along with him. Are both of them going to try and go to the end of the race? This is going to be interesting. And I think it's going to take somebody to pull the trigger on the hard tyres. Brutus will definitely have to pit. There's Dan Morris. There's actually Picnic's pick then. Picnic's having a picnic and pitting. So one of the hard runners definitely pitting. Which is one less for Callum to overtake. Closing in on his teammate. Dan Morrison next have closed in on Katamise. Picnic will come out behind his teammate. And just ahead of Michael. Where's Michael? Portuguese. He's just not managed to close that gap into the DRS range with Amadi, so Amadi with a bit of breathing space. The same for Theo and Adam. Everyone's a little bit detached from each other until we see some potential pit stops again. But yeah, big shout out to Benji, running P6, and if he can keep that going until the end of the race, Callum getting past Jax Daniels, who gave him a little DRS squirt. Yeah, well, it puts them in both in with a bit of confidence going into the Div 2 race. A lot of information for them on how the race unfolds, tyre wear and all that sort of thing, so good advantage to them. He's not quite close enough to catch up Katamise just yet. Katamise, I understand, has a bit of practice as Dan Morris pitting then, so it's unlikely then this one stop's going to work if a lot of hard runners are pitting. Next gone in and followed Dan, so both of them on exactly the same strategy, which promotes Jackson up to P9. It's going to be an interesting climax to this race. Liverpool 2-1. That's what you guys wanted to hear, I'm sure. Eintracht Frankfurt. Who are they? They're a bloody sausage. Adam. He'll have one eye on the Liverpool game, I'm sure. But he's got one eye on Theo just ahead of him. I'll be looking to try and close that gap as Callum, overtaking Katamise at turn 10, will have better traction. Have DRS as well, which will just extend this gap away from the straight line speed merchant of Katamise. Katamise will try and stick with Callum, but it'll be difficult. Now, D and Portuguese have carried on. What will we see Theo do? Theo's carrying on as well. Adam taking the decision to extend his stint. We're going to have to see Brutus carry on, pit soon. Benji's carrying on his stint as well, but Callum is now up to P7 on some fresh mediums and setting fastest lap after fastest lap. I'll be keeping an eye on Lucky's time and see how he catches up to Jax Daniels. Currently 8.2. Jax is not having the best of races, but he's on a similar tyre strategy to the guys ahead. Oh, Dave. Dave, why have you... Oh, my God. This guy. Not so elite, Dave. Why are you retiring again? Just finish the race and score some bloody points, man. Why are you, man? Score some points, man. Oh, well. That's Elite Dave finish for today. As Michael and Glenn having a good... Oh, it's a three-car battle with Dan Morris coming out of turn 4. There's no way they could do it side by side as Callum getting ahead of Benji up to P6. Coming down to turn 11. But we'll jump back on this three-car battle. Now a four-cup battle with Nex. He's round the gearbox of Dan Morris. Glenn, the leader of the pack, and has got himself ahead of this battle with the safety car earlier on. Next, I'm trying to have a look on the outside of Dan Morris, but Dan not affording him any room. Trying to do a switchback next there, but I don't think Dan's expecting to try and do an overtake round to turn 12 as Brutus is now pitting. Everyone else has gone through on those hard tyres. Will they actually try and go through to the end? Cam now 18 seconds behind Amadi with 6 laps to go. This could be a brave strategy from the hard runners going to the end. Big Raki stays ahead of Brutus. Brutus coming out on fresh softs, looking for that fastest lap as well as Glenn and Dan Morris side by side through turn 2. But Dan slots himself ahead, has DRS to try and close in on Michael. Brave drivers next tries to take a quick look on Glenn. Glenn losing out on a couple of positions, but that's what happens with DRS down the start-finish straight. But a good battle here by the elite drivers. As Nex trying to make an opportunist move on turn 8 on Glenn. Will he try a switchback move? Glenn tries to close the door, which he does. Next, trying to capitalise with DRS. Has a look on the inside of turn 11, gets squeezed out again by Glenn. Next is determined to try and make an overtake at this part of the track. He's found it very, very difficult. It is a very tricky one to do so. Amadi, 24-29, has a good 2-second gap. Amadi winning the race last week, but is 10 points behind Callum in the championship. As Brutus making a move on Big Raki, As so does Dan Morrison, leads the train up to P14. Aston Martin driver having a good race so far. And I'm sure he's loving this battle with the guy, his fellow championship rivals. There's potential for it. He's got to get another 8 seconds to catch up to Theo. He's the only one to get consistent podiums. Michael gets himself another track limits, which will give Dan a bit more breathing space for this potential Elite Championship. And speaking of Elite Championship, Jax Daniels running P8 from where he started the race is now leading the Elite Championship, which I think he'll be absolutely chuffed about if he can make the tyres last. That is. Crept that out of nowhere. 3-1 for Liverpool. Game over. Recovered from your mauling from United. Still a 2-second gap here between the front two. This will be Portuguese's best finish of the season, I think. If I'm right, I think he's got a couple of let's have a look. I think he's got a couple of P3s. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's got a couple of P3s, but another track limits there from Ted Head. He doesn't need that with Big Racky closing in. We'll jump down on Big Racky, sticking with Brutus. I didn't see if Brutus actually got the fastest lap on those soft tyres, or was just Callum having an absolute stormer on those mediums. Lock up there from the Williams driver. Just fell out of DRS for now. We've got this 4-car battle still for P14, which Dan Morris leads the way. Michael having a good challenge here to try and take the position from Dan, but Dan defending with his elbows out. Dan the Spitfire, and not because he spits on fire, because he's driving like a plane with his wings stretched out, making the car as wide as possible. Callum now caught up to Adam Mako. Adam having a brilliant race in P4, just driving his own race. Brushed off his competition. We'll find it difficult to keep Callum behind, but we'll try to as much as possible. Callum still 6 seconds behind podium. And this is some fantastic driving here from the front three, very consistent, although slightly detached. 3 seconds of Katamise. Which bags some extra points there for the McLaren team if they can stay within that 3 seconds. This will give an opportunity to to Luckiest, who's now within that DRS on Jax, on some better tyres. Ahmadi's looking comfortable. Who's not looking comfortable is Adam, who's got an orange blur in his mirrors. Callum will open the DRS, and this should be a mandatory overtake. 3 seconds to Portuguese. He's got a 7-second gap on Theo, but there's not what he needs. His Luckiest makes an overtake on Jax before the start-finish straight. Jax will have DRS, will try and retake the position. Not a bit DRS checking from the McLaren, is it? I don't think he's close enough to make the move, though. Takes a quick look, but some good straight line speed from the Alpine. Keeps P8 for now. Adam staying with Callum. We'll try and put Callum under a bit of pressure. I was going to do a bit of cringy Chloe Kelly, but I'm not going to do it because I'll make myself sick. I'd rather watch my mum and dad in the bedroom and show my dad how to guide it in. Then quote Chloe Kelly. Ted Head. Oh, it's caught up to Jax Daniels. Jax is struggling here on those old hards. Ted Head has the DRS. He's also got penalties though, and will need to try and get that advantage ahead of Jax Daniels on the inside of turn 11. Brilliant overtake from Ted Head. Jax is really struggling now on these hard tyres. And we'll be looking in his mirrors, watching the Haas of Brutus try and close the gap. But it's a good, solid drive from Jax, kept his calm. And he's got himself in a decent position in the elite. 3.5 seconds with 2 laps here for Callum to try and close in on Theo. These front three have managed their tyres absolutely fantastic. As actually Jax and Ted, what's happened to Ted Head? Oh, he's just been overtaken with DRS on by Jax. The same with Adam, Benji and Katamise. Jax, those cluster of drivers Ted Head retakes P9 have all managed their tyres, will end up doing 20 laps on them as Michael. Oh, what's happened to Dan? He's gone off track. And he's gone back to this. Oh, he hasn't gone deep, has he? Or has he ended up colliding with somebody? It's down to P17 for Dan. He was doing so well. We'll gain a couple of positions with penalties, but it's not what he would have wanted. 2 seconds here. Callum on Theo. He needs to gain that in 1 lap. I think for the sakes of the championship, everyone will be roaring Theo on. As we're on the final lap, Ahmadi's caught up to a car and should be able to lap it. Another 3 seconds there for Portuguese. It should be enough to keep him in P2 as Lucas gets himself up to P7 ahead of Katamise. Ahead of the DRS. Katamise will have the DRS down to turn 1. Is he going to be close enough to make a move on the inside? He's not. And brilliant defending from Luckiest. Brutus taking a quick look on Jax Daniels, but he's not close enough as yet. 1.3 seconds. Callum on Theo. Theo will be pushing hard. I hope he saved enough ERS, as Brutus does take Jax up to P10 for the Haas. Jax really struggling now. Callum just over a second still as we come round to turn 12. It's going to be close to the line. I think Theo should do it if he... I don't want to jinx him. Callum absolutely flying. But who has been flying? Hasn't been dominant but consistent. Ahmadi takes a consecutive win. And they're in at Bahrain. Portuguese comes home P2. It should cement P2. Theo should come home in P3. Has a little weave and has a well done there to Callum. So Theo takes the podium P3. Callum comes home P4 and his streak of a podium ends. Adamaka comes home P5. Brilliant race from the Visa RB. Congratulations to Benji. Wow, again in the Aston. Nursed his tyres on the one-stopper and comes home P6. Luckiest P7. Jumps Benji on penalties. Katamise will come home P8. Both jumped by Brutus, who takes P8. Jax Daniels P10. Ted Head with many penalties down to P11. So Jax Daniels takes the elite win with Ted Head P2. Picnic comes home 12. Big Raki will take the P3. But strategy in play, strategy on show. And that was a brilliant race from the Div 1 drivers. And I hope it shows me the running order now. Come on, you piece of shit game. Ahmadi. Scotsman on the top again. And we'll close the gap on Callum. Callum gets fastest lap. So he gets that extra point anyway. Luckies gets driver of the day by the game. But it's obviously decided by the drivers. And most overtakes by Jax Daniels. I'm not surprised you're at the back. Amadi takes the win though, with Portuguese in P2, and bronze goes to Theo. Callum comes home P4, gets fastest lap for his efforts. Adamako P5, brilliant race from him, and luckiest gets himself up to P6. Benji Boy P7, Div 2 on show. Brutus P8, P9 for Katamise, and 10th for Jax. Ted Head P11, Picnic P12. Big Racky will take then the P3 in the elite. Clen P4, but P14 in Div 1. Bam Morris P15 with Michael 16 dropping on penalties. Next P17th, Samad P18, Elite Dave and Catslock the only DNFs. Woo! Well, that was Div 1 boys. Great race from everybody involved, and we now move on straight after to Div 2. So join us around 9 p.m. UK, which is about 5 minutes. So it'll be a quick changeover. Might be slightly late as I've got to go for a urination, a serious urination, and get the lobby set up. But join us next week, 7:30 UK, for round 6, and it will be our first sprint of the season at Monza. And if I do recall the last time we did that, it was an absolute thrill of a watch. So don't miss it. My name is Alex. This is Lights Out League Racing. Peace out.